Alright, so this is what we got. This is the top frame to the workbench. We're going to put these legs on there. This was old material, so I've had it for about a year. So you can see it's real rusty. So I went back and I had to tiger disc all these, or flap disc all these, and all this, then paint it. So now I'm going to put these legs on. Alright, I already have one over here that me and Biggin built. And this one looks pretty good. I'm going to put some 2x12s on top. Take some carriage bolts and bolt them down. Put some 2x12s on the bottom. Take some carriage bolts and bolt them down. And yeah, I guess that's it. But put this up. I guess a couple of weeks ago I had to weld a piece of plate back there to the wall. And built these. I know it's a little overkill, but I think it looks good for that little fan. But I plan on getting some bigger fans and putting on there later. Anyway, I'll build one more of these, and it's going to go down here where all this crap is. Cover up that electrical box and go right above it, down that way. Then I'm going to take and put my toolbox in here. Anyway, let me get back to this. I got to put these 4 legs on, then I got to cut out the cross pieces that go from the leg, from right there, and you're going to have another leg right here. So then you got cross pieces that go in there. Anyway, alright, I'll see you in a little while. Alright, so I want to show you a little trick. Look, if I take this level and I've welded right there, this square, and I've welded right there, and I try to put it up in there, this corner piece right there is going to hit the weld. So we're going to put this in the vise. It's hard to do. I'm going to put this in the vise. I'm going to take maybe not. If we can find some soapstone that keeps disappearing, and I don't understand how it disappears. There it is. Because if you wasn't doing nothing, you wouldn't need it. And we're going to cut the corner off just like that. I know people think that's trashy, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay, so we got this tacked in there. You know, I know it's got paint on it, but it has to keep it from rusting. It was raining all day yesterday. Been raining all morning. Still cloudy outside, wet. But we're using Radnor brand 7018 332s, and then we got the old Miller Killer over here. I don't know how old it is. A cousin of mine brought it by the house and gave it to me, come out of a truck wash or something. It's raggedy, but it works. And it will shock the freaking piss out of you too. I've been shocked by SA 200s and Miller Trailblazers and freaking Pipe Pros and everything else. And man, that thing right there. We built this shop last summer. We were putting in this door over here. We were putting a door frame in. This right here. These metal pieces, these 3-inch square tube or 4-inch square tube. And we were putting that door frame in. I had that ladder right there. And I took and just hung that lead with that stinger with the rod still in it on that right there. Well, my brother, he come in there with his bald head, sweating, touched the end of that rod and like to bit his tongue off. Well, then we were putting in them pieces that go across that 4-inch square tube, and I was up on a ladder, on that big ladder over there, and I freaking was trying to hold that piece of square tube up there and tack it at the same time. I touched my old sweaty arm with that stinger. I like to jump off the ladder. So that right there, that will shock the shit out of you. All right, let me get back to work. Okay, we got all the legs tacked on there. All level and square. And Daisy, she wants to play ball. She's mad. They're all tacked on there. We'll go shut this off. Shut the Miller killer off. Alright, now what we have to do is we have to take, and out of this rusty hunk of whatever, we got to cut a piece that goes from right here all the way across to right there. And we need 4 of them. So this is going to take a little while because I have to cut all 4 of them, and then I have to buff all them off with a flap disc or a tiger disc or sanding disc or whatever you call it, but this is what it is right here. And these are really good ones. That old GW, let me see. Camel grinding wheels. I don't know, but they're really good. I've used a bunch of them. This is a tiger disc. See, tiger disc? Yeah, tiger disc ain't all that great. That didn't even make it through the other bench that we built. That didn't even make it through there. So that tells you something right there. These right here I've had for a long time, and they work. I really like them. Them are all right. All right, well, I'll be back in a little while. Okay, this is what I was talking about. We're going to put a piece from there to there. Now, you see how I buffed it off with that flap wheel, that flap disc? Does pretty good. Good enough for in here. It's hard to do with just one person. You got to build all kinds of contraptions to hold stuff in place. All right, we'll fire up the old Miller killer and get her done right after one of these. It's a special break. Bye. Alright. So, we got these two in. Got that other one in. We're going to put two more from there to there. Then we'll put cross pieces in from there to there. And we changed rods. We're using these Unibraze rods, and they're in 1/8. So what that means is they're bigger. So this rod right here is as thick as this metal right there. So to burn this rod, you have to turn your machine up. What that does, it creates more heat, and it's harder to weld to the same thickness of the rod. It can be done. It can be done, but if you're just starting out, you're going to have a shit ton of trouble with it. But you will figure it out, and once you figure it out, then hey, you got it. Another thing, you want to wear more PPE than what I'm wearing if you're just starting out. But anybody, just anybody, you need to wear at least a long sleeve shirt. If you don't like to get burned, you better wear a long sleeve shirt. Alright, I'm going to put these other two in, and then I'll have to cut some cross pieces to go in there. And I'll get back with you. Alright, this is what we got. This is a 3/4 inch bolt, 3/4 inch nut. Alright, what I did is I cut a 2x2 piece of plate. I'll slide over this bolt. Slide this nut down on there. And tighten it down. I drilled a 7/8 hole in it. So we're gonna tighten that down. Then I'll put some tack welds or weld it all the way around, whatever, it don't matter. I'll put it on the bottom of these feet, of these legs, and then put another piece of plate on the bottom of the bolt itself, and then that'll help, like on level piece of plate on this right here itself, and then you'll be able to, I'm gonna weld this nut to this, weld that to the legs, then you'll be able to jack it up and down to get it level on like an uneven surface. Alright, bye. Alright, let me show you what I did. We just put a little bit of weld on it. Then we'll take, I wanted to start over because I was in a hurry on that last one that I did. But anyway, we just put a little bit of weld on that. We'll let them cool off. Then we'll stick them on here. Right up there. Right up in there. We'll put the nut on the inside. Then that bolt will stick out. Then you'll be able to level this thing if you got an uneven surface. That's a good way to do it if, you know, your concrete ain't level, or working on out in the rocks, or, you know, stuff like that. But we'll let them cool off, and then we'll get back after it. Alright, this is how you find the center on that plate. This plate had some holes in it. It was a base plate for one of them legs. You take this bolt out. Just so you can, if you set it on unlevel concrete, you can jack up these legs and level it out. Take that bolt and set it right in the center. You just take a marked from one corner to the other corner. Do the same way this way. That tells you the center of your plate. We got all this welded out. I'm gonna take all these nuts out, or these bolts, and put them plates on the bottom of them just for a little more to go up against the concrete. I mean, you probably don't have to put them on there, but I like it. I put the nut on the inside of the plate. That way you can get up, you can screw this bolt all the way into that plate. Got everything welded out. I had some old green paint, so I just put that on there kind of as primer for right now. Got to go to the store and get some black paint. Anyway, if you ain't got one of them, you might want to buy one if you do a lot of stuff by yourself, because comes in handy. Get them at Harbor Freight for like 150 bucks, I think is what I paid for that one. You can find them on Craigslist for probably about 100 bucks, used one. Anyway, let me finish this and then I'll be back. Okay, girls, that's the finished product except for paint. I'm gonna put some 2 2x12s on the top. Go across. 2 2x12s on the bottom. Put some carriage bolts in it. And then we'll have 2 of them up against that wall right there. Then I can get rid of all that. I can start cleaning this up. It's starting to look pretty good. The old Miller Killer. I don't know. There's something wrong with it because I've had it for about 7 years. 7 years that I've had it. And I had it in 2 different rent houses that we lived in before we bought this place. And it didn't shock. I've been shocked by it before, but since we moved out here, and I guess it's set up for a while, I don't know what the deal is. Now it'll knock your teeth out, rattle your brain. But it's a good machine. The only thing I have complaints with Lincoln about is you can only change it in 15 amp increments. If you could change it in 5 amp, that would be even better. You know, or 10, that would be better. But 1 amp increments would be great. But deal with what you got. Plus, it ain't noisy. It ain't like one of them engine driven. It ain't noisy. All right, boys and girls. Later.